Good evening, all. Welcome to the first class on pronouns. Today we are doing the second part of speech, namely pronoun. In the last class, we did nouns. Today we'll deal with pronouns. First, let's begin with the definition. As you can see, it begins with the prefix pro. Pro means in favor of something. You have pro Congress, pro Aam Aadmi Party, pro BJP, which means in favor of those. Similarly, if you look at this word, it says pro nouns, and thus goes the definition: the words that are used in favor of nouns or in place of nouns. For example, he, she, it, they, my, mine, myself, etc. The purpose we use pronouns for is to avoid repetition. If I say Ram is a boy, Ram goes to school, Ram is punctual, there is a repetition of the name Ram, of the noun Ram. Hence, in place of the proper noun Ram, we use pronouns he or his. So I'd say Ram is a boy, he goes to school, and he is punctual. Makes it more elegant and avoids repetition. There are eight kinds of pronouns that we have. We'll begin with the first kind of pronoun, that is the personal pronoun. The very first kind, as the name suggests, refers to the three persons of the pronouns that we have heard of: the first person, second person, and the third person. So let's begin with the first person. Now, first person, simply stated, is the speaker of the sentence. Consider this: if I am the one who's speaking, the pronouns that I'd use for myself are I, my, mine, myself, me. The pronouns that the speaker uses to address himself are ones that are categorized as the first person. Then we have the second person. The second person is the one who's being spoken to. We also call it the addressee, the one who's being addressed. Now, if I talk to someone, if I'm the speaker, the pronouns I'd use for myself are me, my, mine, myself. That makes sense. But if I am addressing someone, the other person, I'd use pronouns such as how are you, where were you, how have you been. So you, your, yours, yourself are the pronouns of the second person. Simply stated, this is the person we speak to, or the first person speaks to. Let's now jump to the third person. Third person is the one which is not a part of this conversation. He, she, it is the one we are referring to or talking of. Now, if I talk of a third party that is not a part of this conversation, I would say he was not present at the party yesterday, or she did not come to school yesterday, or it was not functioning properly. But I won't say you did not come to the party yesterday for a third party. So these are the not a part of the conversation. So these are the three persons of pronoun that we have simply stated on the screen of yours. Now, there is a distinction. If you look at, there are first person pronouns like me, my. I say I am a boy. I don't say me am a boy. And I would say he hurt me, but I won't say he hurt I. When to use me, when to use I, that is dependent on something that are called the cases of pronoun. Now, there are many cases of pronoun conventionally. There have been many cases of pronoun. You have the subjective case, which is also called the nominative case. You have the objective case, which is also called the accusative case. Then you have the possessive case. Then you have the dative case as well. But I'll only take up the subjective case, objective case, and the possessive case in this discussion. So let's begin with the subjective case first. If we talk of the subjective case, simply stated, it is the subject of the sentence. Subject, we discussed in the first class, is either the doer of the action or the topic of the sentence, the one that we are talking of. So if we consider a very simple example, I say I kick a football. If you look at it, the doer of the action, kick is the action, and the doer of the action is I. So this becomes the subject of the sentence. Now this is a pronoun. When a pronoun of the first person is used as the subject of the sentence, as we have here on the screen right now, when it is in the first person singular, you cannot use anything but I. If it is in the plural, you say we kick a football. You can't say me kick a football, my kick a football, mine kick a football. So these cases determine what form of the pronoun will be used. On that basis, we have the subjective case, the objective case, and the possessive case. When the pronoun is the subject of the sentence, you use the subjective case. When the pronoun is the object of the sentence, you use the objective case. And when the pronoun signifies or shows possession of some noun that is stated in the sentence, you use the possessive case. So we have a table that we'll follow, but before that, let's complete other kinds of pronouns. I'll return to the concept of cases and I'll discuss it thoroughly, but that is for later. Let us jump to the second kind of pronoun now, that is called the demonstrative pronoun. Let me rub this for you, just a moment. Now, when I say the second kind of pronoun, demonstrative pronoun, the first thing that comes to mind is demonstration of something. And demonstration means an exhibition, how to do something, that is a demo, as we commonly call it. Demonstrative pronouns are also the ones that are used to point towards something. Simply put, if I say the definition, it means the pronouns that are used to point towards something are called demonstrative pronouns. If you look at the examples, it would be clearer. You have the pronoun this, that. Similarly, you have the plural of these. You have this. The plural for this is these, and the plural for that is those. If you look at a sentence that begins with this, it says, "This book is mine." You're pointing towards that book. Hence is the function of demonstrative pronoun. Similarly, if I say, "That is a boy," I'm pointing towards some person or something. This and that are singular. These and those are plural. There is also another difference between this and that is of proximity. If you are pointing towards things, objects that are closer to you, you use this. And if you have a plural one, you use these. But if you are pointing towards things or objects that are far from you, you use that for singular and those for plural. So this was the second kind of pronoun. There are others as well. I'll name the pronouns for you and we'll take these pronouns up in the next class. You have the reflexive pronoun, the emphatic pronouns, you have reciprocal pronouns, distributive pronouns, which makes it 6 pronouns. Then you have interrogative pronouns and relative pronouns to cap it all. We have 8 kinds of pronouns. I've discussed 2 with you, the personal pronouns and the demonstrative pronouns. I'll now shift to the third kind of pronoun, which is the reciprocal pronoun. Reciprocal pronoun, as the name suggests, reciprocal means if you are giving something, you get the same thing in return. Reciprocal also in mathematically means P by Q, Q by P. Reciprocal pronouns, the examples will convey a better meaning. Are each other. You also have one another. These are the most common kinds of reciprocal pronoun. Each other is used when the action is reciprocated between 2 objects or 2 persons. So you have a sentence that goes thus: they were talking with each other. If I say, it means there were only 2 people who were talking. You can say, you can distribute the sheet between each other, which means distribute the sheet between yourself, 2 people. But if I say they were talking with one another, that means there were more than 2 people involved. Reciprocal pronoun means an exchange of action mutually. Now we have other pronouns as well that I'll take up in the next class. Thank you so much, and we'll meet in the next class then. Bye bye.